What's going on, Call of Duty fans, and welcome back to episode 13, I believe this is, of Around the CDL. Alex and Preston down there, as always, and this is our first show since Major 2, so we have a lot to talk about tonight. But first things first, boys, how we feeling? Alex, I want to start off with you. How was being at Major 2, since obviously you were in Miami for all the fun times?
Yeah, I mean, Miami, honestly, outside of everything that happened that we couldn't control, I'm pretty sure y'all saw there was a shooting at ROKKR's Hotel at the Holiday Inn. That was a crazy scene. And then someone pulled the fire alarm during the Boston and NYSL series, I think, or something like that. Or I know Boston was playing, but I forgot who they were playing against.
I think it was Minnesota.
Okay, so then that series, that was wild because people started to evacuate, but I was like front row, and I was like, I'm not gonna leave,
Not leaving.
because I'm not gonna like have or risk someone taking my seat. But honestly, like outside of that, and I tweeted this as well, because of the gameplay and because of how good the matches were, it definitely made up for everything like that was a non-gameplay associated. The venue was pretty big. I will say, going there and talking to a few of the people that were working behind the scenes, it sounds like, again, it was supposed to be something like DreamHack in a way, where there's a big convention, bunch of different games. Call of Duty was supposed to be a small part of it, and there was supposed to be other parts. But apparently, just last minute, I think 4 days before, they just didn't get enough sponsors, and so they just pulled it. They just pulled everything, and it was just Call of Duty. So Call of Duty was in this big hall, and you could tell it was way too big for just Call of Duty. But I mean, overall, it was great. Seeing COD on land, seeing the boys on land for the first time. Made championship Sunday, got second place. Wasn't what we wanted, but overall, just great major. Got to work with Breaking Point on doing some player interviews, so that was also great as well. But yeah, just like overall, really great. And I'll be in Toronto, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I was home watching
Same.
from my computer. But some banger matches, man. The tournament itself was a banger.
It was a banger.
One of the better majors in recent memory, at least to me. But I mean, yeah, obviously not as fun as being at the actual event, but I had fun the entire weekend. I was also working with Breaking Point, but I was clipping matches, so not as cool as player interviews.
Might be a little less cool, but still cool in its own way.
Cool in its own way, for sure. Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, so I guess to kick it off today, we can kind of just talk about Major 2 as a whole. I mean, obviously it's been a minute since Major 2. It's not really as exciting to talk about probably, but I guess if there's any big storylines you guys kind of want to touch on or teams, or if you want to talk specifically on OpTic, I'll open the floor to you guys first and see if there's anything you want to talk about.
Damn, hold on, I need to think back.
Dude, it's been a minute.
Back a little bit. I think the first one probably is LA Thieves going out top 12.
Oh, can we not talk about that? No, yeah.
I mean, that was rough, but I mean, you got phase first, but I feel like you should have won against Gorillas. Gorillas are like animals, so I think like they just don't play good online for some reason, but on land they're just consistently top 6.
Can we talk about how insanely crazy that LAT phase series became for that major? Because not only LAT looking super promising, like top 6, losing in that absolutely heartbreaking way to phase, and then going out top 12 to the Gorillas next series, but phase, who should have lost LAT, going on to just absolutely slam everybody the rest of the event. Like, that one series quite literally decided the event. It decided the event, because if FaZe goes down to losers, they still probably make a run, but is it as dominant as it was? I'm not too sure. And
Honestly,
LAT's already guaranteed top 6 if they win that series versus FaZe. So I mean, crazy scenario there that played out. Really crazy. And they threw. It should have been a 3-0. It really should have been a 3-0. They threw bad. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jake.
they won the first HP, and then I think it was like 6-5 on the S&D, and then won the Control 3-1. So they could have beat FaZe 3-0. And I
They should have.
genuinely think if they beat FaZe 3-0, I think OpTic wins the tournament entirely. I think it's a different tournament. I think OpTic wins, but just because FaZe got through that grueler, and then I forgot who they played next. Honestly,
New
they played
York.
YSL, yeah, in New York, and also going through that grueler. I mean, New York almost came back on them. Like they were very. It would FaZe went up 2-0, and then New York was making a comeback. So yeah, it's just tough luck for Thieves. But I think they showed good things online and even on land, as Preston said, against FaZe. So they'll be back. They'll be back for sure.
MNK makes a good point. They're very LAT Vanguard champs-esque there from the FaZe boys
Yeah.
this weekend. Close round one, and then
hmm
all the way to the chip.
Yeah, man. It was the way Thieves lost was almost more heartbreaking than if they were to just get like slammed double first rounded or like top 8. Because it's like they were literally round 11 in game 2 from 3-0ing FaZe. I mean, maybe they win game 2 and FaZe is like, all right, we need to step up a notch, and then we don't end up winning control. Like, obviously, there's no guarantees, but we had defense, invasion, SND round 11, and I don't know what the call was, but we gave up B site pretty much entirely, which is really difficult to retake once FaZe takes it. So it really it hurt my heart watching that, but I mean, it is what it is. I still feel confident in the boys to be good, and to come back stronger for Major 3. Especially we got a better schedule this time around. Maybe can get a better seed heading into the Major. Maybe steal one of those top 4 spots and then play another bottom 8 team in the first round rather than a top 4 team, and then maybe you find yourself in winners round 2 at Major 3 pretty easily. But it still feels good. But yeah, dude, the butterfly effect of if Thieves beat FaZe there could have been crazy. Because then it would have been Thieves New York in winners round 2, which New York probably would have won. And then it would have been OpTic New York instead of OpTic FaZe. And then let's say OpTic still wins it, then OpTic's in the finals with veto advantage instead of the other way around. And FaZe has to make a much longer, grueling losers run. Like, obviously, they're probably going to beat up on teams down there, but got to play more maps, got to put more energy into it, longer days, and that stuff wears on teams. So it really was like, dude, one round and Thieves could have won the
That's it.
tournament for OpTic, bro. We could have given you guys a dub.
Well, they were up what? Was it 3-0?
Yeah, I
two?
think so. It was
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, that's brutal.
It was very sad. It was very, very sad.
I mean, I guess other storylines. I mean, again, LAG look really good on land for some reason, and they don't look good online. Just mine, like, sure, I guess. Miami still sucks. That's expected.
Yeah,
Um,
dude.
so I mean, Boston sucks.
hmm
I mean, ROKKR, Seattle, they got out of here. They played one match, and that's so heartbreaking. You start in losers, you fly all the way from Seattle or wherever they
From
are,
Vancouver to freaking
right,
Miami has to be a
to
long
Miami,
flight, bro.
and then you
Across
get
the it's across
3-1,
the continent, basically.
and you get 3-1, and you're out of the tournament, and now you have to fly back home. That's
That
so heart
sucks.
wrenching. That's, I mean, it's on. Seattle has to do something. We'll talk about the trade rumor or the ROSTERMANIA rumors a little
hmm
bit later, but I mean, Carolina looked kind of good. Clay had some really good series. Gwyn was out there shooting. But I mean, other than that, I gotta tip my hat to FaZe. They came out and played crazy both series. Um, they beat us fair and square. Some of the games were a little closer. Um, I even tweeted this. I said we need to fix our, because I feel like we definitely weren't playing to our full capacity, and it showed. Like, even with getting outplayed, which is kind of what happened with Toronto in the grand finals in Major 1. They got outplayed, but they still won. I feel like OpTic was playing well, but just not great. I feel like if we would have played how we played against Toronto versus FaZe, I think we win that. But again, shout out to FaZe. They won it. They got their. They're no longer silver surfing. They finally got their win. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
just got a tip of them. OpTic just didn't come out how they were supposed to. It is what it is. The boys will be back in Toronto.
OpTic's S&D looks much better.
Mhm.
Much better. But the problem is their S&D looks much better, and then they went and lost 4 hard points to FaZe, which you play 2 series versus FaZe, you're not going to win any of the series if you lose 4 hard points in 2 series. It's just not going to happen. End of the day, you got to split at bare minimum. You got to split to beat a team like that. So just didn't happen. It is what it is. I thought both teams played well. Obviously, very clearly, FaZe played better. I mean, they were far and away the best team this weekend. But I think OpTic played well. Well enough that they could go back and say, okay, we definitely made a lot of improvements to split, but there's still more to work on, which I think is a good thing. Because if they felt like they didn't have anything to work on, that's where teams like that in the past have regressed and just not put in the effort and the time necessary to keep up to that pace. So I think this is overall a good thing, and happy for the FaZe guys finally getting one on the board. I know they've been wanting one for a while. I mean, it's Major 2 last year's their last one. So, besides us being on like a 13-20 loss streak, which is absolutely heart-wrenching, by the way. Shout out to FaZe guys, I guess. By the way, I'm pretty sure like Vikul has more minutes in your DMs than he does map wins on LAN this year.
Oh
So
God, dude, that's messed up.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, fuck.
So,
Did they need to shoot back, please? They just need to do something.
so after
That's-
Carolina knocked them out of the tournament, like everyone was, talking shit to Miami.
Mhm.
Well, honestly, it was like one Carolina fan, and like outside of like Gwen's family that was there was like one Carolina fan who was also a Boston fan first day. So, I mean, he was switching up pretty quick, but I guess sure we'll go.
It's all good.
Well, yeah, we'll let him have it. I forgot what he said, but when I tell you, Vikul, like he was cleaning up his stuff, and he straight turned around and just said, "You're watching me, you're dog shit," and he turned like red in the face as he said it. I was like, "Yo, what is going on?" But like, you could tell, like Miami, they're going through it right now.
Yeah.
Cause like, Jesus Christ, that was hilarious. Everyone started laughing after, but
Yeah, I mean, 0-12 map count on LAN across 2 majors is definitely not what you want to see. I don't even know what to say their like problem necessarily is when it comes to LAN. Maybe it's just a mentality thing. Maybe they're a little more nervous on LAN. I don't know, and we're going to talk about roster moves in a little bit, but I don't even know if they're making a change. I mean, they've been scrimming with the same team. Obviously, Real, I believe, is in the US now at their facility with them, so maybe he steps in, but at least from the scrims I saw, like CDL Scrim Intel tweeting out on Twitter a couple days ago, they're still scrimming with the same 4 players that they were at Major 2, so do they need a change? Probably, but I mean, we're gonna talk about roster changes. We're gonna get into that. But let's hop on into updating our power rankings, because I mean, honestly, like it's kind of hard to update the power rankings because obviously it's kind of going to look similar to what the Major 2 like final score, whatever you want to call it, bracket ended up looking like. But I do think I want to update it so when we go into Major 3, we can reference back what we had after Major 2. So this is on screen what we had heading into the Major. As you can see, it was pretty not great. It was pretty not good when you think about where teams placed. I mean, it was good based on what we knew, obviously, before the Major. But when you think about where teams placed, it didn't end up being that good.
They're in the, I guess, sort of correct vicinity. No one's really like severely out of place except maybe like 2 people. I see.
Yeah. So, actually, I want to ask you guys, how would you prefer to do this? Would you rather I move everyone and then we go 12-1 like we usually do, or do you want to keep this like it is and move like 1 team at a time so we can kind of see where teams were? So maybe it's a little bit easier to keep up with.
Yeah, do that. Yeah.
Dude, Flashy, I said FaZe 4th in the power rankings, but I had people saying that to me after FaZe won the Major, like you had them 4th in your power rankings. I had them winning in my bracket. So like power rankings don't necessarily mean everything. I just think I just try to be unbiased and not put any personal opinion in my power rankings. But okay, either way, how do you guys want to start this? I think first and foremost, well, FaZe will go 1, obviously, and Seattle stay 12. I think is probably a good place to start.
Yeah, valid.
We need to put Miami down there at 11.
Yeah, I think
Miami down to 11. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does make sense. All right. What about the Ravens? I'm trying to think. Well,
put them at,
they gotta jump up a bit, right? Like,
yeah, I think 10 would be fine.
you think only
10,
only
9.
one spot?
I personally think I'd put Boston at 10. I'm done with these guys. I'm absolutely done with these guys.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think I
think
agree. Boston drop for sure. The Boston is so disappointing to me.
So disappointing.
I always have faith in them to like at least do something, and it's just like I don't. I mean, I guess I can't tell you much. I'm a Thieves fan, and we've also gotten 2 top 12s, but
I think okay, we can keep ROKKR at 9.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
I think ROKKR stay. Let me move these guys real quick just to get them out of the tiers. So that's our bottom 4 right there.
Yeah.
And then, dude, probably Thieves would fall to 8, maybe.
No,
You don't think so? You think Thieves would still stay ahead of either Ravens or Gorillas?
I personally think the 2 teams in 5 and 6 are still better than the teams in 7 and 8, even though the standings from the major don't show that way. If you were to ask me to take those 2 teams head to head versus those 2 teams in series, I'm probably picking the 5 and 6 seeds right now.
That is true. That is true.
But if we're going surely based off like the major power rankings, obviously that changes. But
well, I mean, hey, we can do this however we want. You know, if we wanna keep Thieves and Legion at 5 and 6. Do you want to swap them since Legion did better on land? Maybe Legion are 5, Thieves are 6. You like you Alex? What are you thinking? What are you thinking here?
I need input.
Okay, what I need to know is if we're going just off the major or if we're going off the entirety of like since the beginning. Or are we just going off, just strictly off the major?
The way I look at power rankings is it's like all encompassing, but it's recency bias because they typically have power ranking updates like after every week. I mean, obviously we do ours like twice a major essentially. So I do think major 2 plays a bigger factor than like earlier, but take the whole season into account.
Guys, this is power rankings. This isn't standings from the major. If I wanted to put LAG top 6 because they got top 6, just go look at the standings. Go look at the bracket from the major.
Dude, LAG also beat FaZe online before the major.
Like,
very true.
I don't know. I don't want to exactly just take the standings. Although these 4 teams are very interchangeable. I think 9 through 12 right now are very solid. Those are good 9 through 12. But these 5 through 8 are rough. Really, it could go anyway because online the 2 teams in 5 and 6 were much better than the 2 teams in 7 and 8, but it's completely vice versa on land.
Yeah, I'm cool with you know, I do agree. I would still probably take Legion and Thieves over Ravens and Gorillas in terms of like if they were playing right now. So if we want to keep this the way it is, that's cool with me, I guess.
I'm fine with keeping it. I feel like
Can we just get rid of 7 and 8, 5, 6, and make it 5, 6, 7, 8? I'll put them on the same line. No, I think that's fine. I mean, really, it's gonna be hard to really pick who you want, to be honest. But I mean, you can interchange really any of those. The Gorillas went 1 and 6, dude. If they didn't beat FaZe in an absolute miracle before the major, they would have been 0 and 7 and split.
That is true.
People want me to put them as the 5th best team. Like, are we serious? Miami is 13th. That's valid.
That's valid.
That's valid.
I'm cool with keeping it like this for now.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with it. I'm definitely cool. And then 1 through 4, are we just putting it in the order I have on screen? I kind of figured we would all probably agree on this order.
Yeah.
I think it's the top 4 at the major. I think it makes the most sense.
Ultra, no joke, looked like a top 6 team this weekend or past weekend if Scrappy just
Doesn't take
wasn't
over.
scrappy.
99 overall
Yeah.
scrappy in the breaking point cards.
If-
Meanwhile, his teammates are like 70 something.
If Scrappy wasn't doing everything he was doing, they probably don't get fourth. Realistically, they get sixth if they're lucky. Probably they did not look good this weekend. Dill had a slow weekend. Even Kleenex, to be honest, had a slow weekend for his standards. And really, the only time you heard anybody doing anything on the Toronto squad was Scrappy. Really.
Yeah. Not wrong. All right, so chat.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
their-
go Alex.
I was gonna say their S&D is fallen off tremendously. Why? I have no idea.
That no Skid Row, man.
No
That no
skid.
Skid Row killed him. No Skid Row killed him. If they were able to auto veto Terminal and made people veto Skid Row against them, and it gave them a different map pool variety, and now they're forced to auto veto Term, and they have to play something that they're not comfortable with. They're not good at Rio S&D. They are not good at Rio S&D. I don't know. Now they just won Major once, so and these guys are champions, so I would really find it hard to believe that they don't figure it out, at least from a competitive standpoint, and they do better this split. But right now they look like the worst of the top four for sure.
Yeah.
That's not me slamming, or that's not me being disrespectful. It's just true. They
No,
look
it's
like
true.
the worst of the top four. They went from clear cut favorites to the worst of the top four.
I think they'll be back, but yeah, right now they're definitely fourth out of the top four.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy. I mean, like
I was talking my shit to Scrap though. I was like,
were you?
Yeah. But
Telling them,
I know.
dude.
Yeah, but Scrap is a good player again. They'll be back.
I don't know. They're definitely insane. I think if we do, and we're going to talk about this in a little bit, if we do get more maps into the pool, and teams got to all learn a couple new maps again, some stronger maps come out for other teams, we could see Ultra right back on top for sure. Let's talk about roster changes then. I got a whole bunch of tweets pulled up. We're up into production a little bit. Instead of going full face cam screen, we're gonna look at some roster change tweets here. We'll start it with LAT since that was like the first one and the most obvious one. I mean, Joe Deceives in for Afro. There's not much to say. I mean, everyone expected it. Everyone saw it coming. It was the most obvious move because they were still paying Joe Deceives anyway. Is there anything you guys want to say about this? Because I mean, it's.
I mean, no. Afro is like they need to get him out of here. I'm sorry. That
Ugh.
guy was dropping stinkers after stinkers after stinkers, and yeah, that sucks to suck because again, as Jake, you've said this plenty of times. Afro is way too inconsistent to be someone that you can rely on because I mean he will have his good series, but his good series are once in a blue moon, and you just can't have that when you're trying to make champs with only 4 majors.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean Joe, he's been playing really good on FaZe Black, I believe he was on. So hopefully they can put something together. Hopefully the team can put up if not definitely a better performance than they did last qualifiers, but definitely a better performance than they put up at the major tournament.
I will say, as rough as a position as it is for him, and it kind of feels a little brutal, but it is what it is. I actually think Joe Deceives is on a short leash here. I really do. You were on the starting roster to start the year. You didn't perform that well. They put you on the bench. You're playing really well in challengers. I think he won an event or a cup. I don't know how the challengers work, but he won with FaZe Black. He's been playing really well, and you're filling in a spot for a player that has not looked good. Your expectations are extremely low, and if you somehow fail to meet those expectations, it's a very bad look for you. Especially when Boston just got rid of their best player and he was absolutely taking over in challengers with Kremp as his SMG duo, and Asim's just sitting there looking at LAT in the face. If Joe Deceives does not perform this split, I am calling up Asim immediately and saying, dude, let's go, let's make this happen, and yeah, let's just take over, because it's bound to happen. I think Joe has a lot to prove, and I hope he does, because I like him as a player. So I really hope he does. But he's in a position to succeed right now, and if he somehow fails to succeed in this position, it's not going to be good for him. Literally, I mean, Afro might be like the 47th best player in the league right now out of 48. I'm not kidding. I'm not being rude. I'm just being real. He did not look like.
Damn.
He just is so inconsistent. I could take 46 players above him.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
He had like a 0.8 or something like that through qualifiers and through the tournament. So I think it was time to get him out. But I do agree with you. I can see how Thieves would have a short leash on Joe because they know they can bring in someone like Asim that did really good on Boston. And by the way, that was a faded drop, but we'll get to that later.
We will.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually 100% with everything you said, Preston. That's what I was going to say too. We already saw Joe Deceives play earlier this year. I mean, obviously, it's a bit of a different game. This is a different team, right? Now he's coming into a team with Kremp and Nasty, so it's two different players, right? Half the team is different with him coming back in. So maybe things work a bit better, but I mean, we saw Joe last year. Obviously, his team was god awful, and when your whole team's getting farmed, it's going to be hard to perform individually too. And this Steve's team is considerably better than that Gorilla's team last year. I just, I still don't really think it's going to be like the move that makes us top 5, top 4 guaranteed type of deal. You know what I mean? So I think it's a cool little quick fix. You know what I mean? It's like putting a Band-Aid on the situation sort of thing, and like maybe it works. But it would be interesting to maybe look at someone like Asim. Like you said, he obviously was killing it with Kremp and challengers. Bring in someone, bring in Asim. I don't know, maybe try Exceed, even though he's been catching it right now on social media and stuff. I don't know. For now, I think it makes sense. You're paying the guy's salary. You're still paying Afro's salary too. They at least as far as the last thing I saw, he was just moved to the sub spot. So if Afro comes back into the roster a little bit later in the season, I don't know what we're doing. Maybe we just keep mix and matching until it works. But there's not a whole lot to say about Thieves. I mean, they obviously are the best team to make a move. And it's not a very crazy move. So I'm excited to see the boys play. Easier schedule this split. And I think we're going to do better. But we hope for the best, brother. All right, next up, let's talk about the Seattle Surge. The Seattle Surge dropped Arcides, fully released him. He's playing in challengers with like Dak and Classic and maybe someone else. I think I saw that they were maybe looking for a new fourth.
I think what I just saw was Dak, Classic, Vivid, and Alec. But I know which was
Vivid.
Challengers is so weird because earlier today, Vivid was scrimming with Temp, Spart, and Prolude.
Yeah.
So
that's a whole different
moving
story.
Around.
But yeah, and chat, don't mind this full tweet. The whole Hook may get dropped thing was debunked later on. So as far as the last thing we heard, Hook is fine. It was just Arcides, and it's rumored that it's going to be 04 coming in. I don't think we have an official, we haven't heard anything, right, from Seattle about who's actually coming into this roster. I don't know a lot about 04. The only thing I know about him is that he won the Miami event for challengers.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's much you guys want to add.
What I know about him.
What do you know?
The second he gets introduced in the league, he's got the coldest gamer tag I've ever seen in my life.
That is sick. It is sick.
That is cold. That is absolutely cold. 04, dude, I could just imagine just Miles and his little accent saying 04 and going nuts.
Oh, yeah.
Let it fall. But I mean, I had the chance to talk to Gunless and his because he was on Gunless's team. It was Lore Gaming. It was like Gunless, 04, Dak, and Classic, I think, or something like that. And I had the chance to talk to him after they won. They reverse swept Face Black, which is kind of typical out of them. But I mean, he seems like a cool dude. I mean, even for us, like I remember like when we would be like doing like our shows, like first few episodes, we would be saying that Alec would get dropped eventually. He got dropped, unfortunately, but Seattle's just such in a weird spot with the Ilya situation and then Prezi coming in. I don't know what's going on with that camp, honestly. It's just I hope, good wishes to 04. I hope he fries and stuff like that. But I've said this time and time again, the competition between challengers and the pros is night and day. Like you can always see that. And I'm pretty sure like the flank of them have also said it. It's easier to go backwards than it is to go forwards in this league, because as a pro you can go back in challengers and fry. But as a challenger player to try to go into the league, like your first few times, it might not go so well for you. So I just hope, if that's the decision they go for, again, there isn't an official announcement, but I hope all the best for my guy. Alec, again, he wasn't playing the best. I think overall he was like right under 1 KD or like a 1.0. So I just hope, whatever he does, content challengers, whatever it is, he does good. And I hope 04 also does good. I really don't have an opinion on the move, honestly, right now.
If there's a team that a new player from Challengers is going to come in and make his rookie appearance on and stand out individually, it's the Surge. I mean, there's no doubt about it. If he plays even above average in the slightest, he's their best player by far. So he just got to come in and do what he does and play his game, and I think he'll be all right. Because they're not going to make champs, and they're not going to do anything. Even if they miraculously do make champs, I'll be stunned if they make champs.
Never know. They got some decent points from Major 1.
I guess, but
I mean, it's, based on what we know now, it's unlikely.
I don't know. He's just got to come in and play his game. I think he'll be okay. He's in a spot where even if they're going to lose, they're not going to win, but he's in a spot where if he plays individually, he's going to get some tips and recognition from people. So hope he does well, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him play. I'm excited to just see more rookies. You know what I mean? There's those players that just get rinsed and repeated throughout the league every single year that come up, play a bit, get back in challengers. I'm excited to see more rookies, man. I want to see some rookies. If he comes out and plays pretty good, maybe he makes a name for himself and he sticks around in the league for a while. So I am excited. But now let's talk about the Boston Breach. I think this is probably one of the biggest ones to talk about because they made a bunch of changes, but they've like officially announced changes and have an official roster again. So there's obviously a lot to talk about here. For those that don't know, they officially dropped Asim and they officially dropped Slasher, and they picked up Beans and Pentagram to replace those two. They also released their assistant coach, Josh, and brought in 2 other coaches today who I should have pulled up the tweet. We'll click back onto their thing real quick. They brought in Magic and Shawnee as 2 new coaches. So Boston, I mean, got rid of 3, added 4 in terms of their organization, which is pretty crazy. You don't really see a lot of like mid-season coaching changes at this level either. So what are your guys' initial thoughts on the moves?
I mean, okay. For starters, I might get some flack for this. I don't necessarily disagree with the Slasher move. People are going to call him the most consistent player on that team. He might have been consistent. I don't care, but they sucked. They've just overall sucked. And he hasn't done anything, at least in my eyes, that has warranted him a position. There's been one player on this team that I felt was 100% safe, and that was Asim. I did not think there was a world where he got dropped. I thought for sure he was their best player. I thought for sure that he was the only player this season that has had any sort of takeover mode in him. He's the one that was taking over. He was like 30-10 on that one hard point. They won by like 20 points. If he doesn't go 30-10, they lose. He's the only one that had takeover possibility on this team. I thought that Slasher, I thought that P-Dog, I thought that Snoopy all could have been dropped. And Asim was the one that was going to stay. Clearly, I don't know what I'm talking about because I was wrong. So
You're not getting hired anytime soon.
They got rid of their best player. I don't like it. And with that being said, I could have saw Slasher, but Slasher and Asim just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to get rid of Slasher, you should have got rid of Preston too, because the duo just didn't work. I mean, people were like, well, to be honest, I personally think that Beans and Slasher would have been a better duo than Slasher and P-Dog, because I think Beans and P-Dog play a similar role. People were like, well, Awakening and Beans didn't really work out last year. I think this is going to be like the same thing, to be honest. I really think this is going to be like the same outcome. I don't know what difference they want. I think they would have been better off keeping Slasher if you were bringing in Beans. I'm I'm happy that Pentagram finally gets his chance, but I don't see on paper how this team gets any better, to be honest. I really don't. Um, I don't know. I mean, shout outs to the coaches for getting a spot, I guess. That's about the only positive I have from this roster change. And Pentagram finally getting his spot.
Yeah, shout out Pentagram for sure.
I mean, it was a dumb move in my opinion. I mean, again, I don't know if the situation that Zuma said is correct because I know Doug went on and said that some of the stuff that Flank was saying was lies. But from what Zuma said, that Asim was basically the odd man out, which is why he got dropped. Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, again, he was probably their best player on LAN. Yes, online he didn't have the best of games, but again, he's probably the only person on the team that has that consistent takeover potential. We know what Snoopy's ceiling can be. We know it can be really high, but when have we've seen it rarely. But I just think someone as like Asim who has that LAN experience, who it just doesn't make any sense to me why he was dropped. Priesta, I know people were calling for his head after this tournament. I get why they're sticking with him. I mean, he's won the most. Him and Dale have, I believe, have won the most in the CDL. So I guess they want that experience when they do get to that moment. But bringing in Beans and Pentagram again, shout out to Pentagram. He's finally getting his chance. I don't know if that's the move you make, honestly. The slasher move, okay, I can see it. I mean, he's not the greatest, but overall, I just doesn't really make sense to me. Will they get any better? Probably not. I seen someone say it. Same shit, different toilet.
Huh.
It's kind of how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah, dude, it's I see a lot of people saying like this move isn't as bad as it seems, and I do definitely agree. I feel like this is kind of like you take a team that got back-to-back T12s, like how much worse could you really do? Um, for me, I actually expected the other two players to get dropped in this team. I thought it was going to be Snoopy and Priesta, and you keep Asim and Slasher, so it was the opposite of what I thought. Honestly, and it's no disrespect to Snoopy because I think this kid could be an incredible player one day. I think his ceiling is really high. He has takeover potential. I just feel like you're at a point in the season where you're halfway through the year, right? You're in dead last in terms of champs qualification. That should be your focus. You should be trying to qualify for champs, and I just don't know if there's enough time left in the season to keep sort of doubling down on Snoopy and trying to coach him and teach him like how to play his life better, how to not, make some bonehead plays that plenty of players make, obviously, in the league, but he does it pretty often. And it's going to happen. He's a young, aggressive SMG player. It's going to happen. I just feel like you put him back in challengers, you put him onto your academy team. The coaches keep working with him because he's still in your system. He keeps learning and growing and figuring out like how he wants to play and what the right plays are. While you pick up someone else, maybe you just bring Pentagram in and you try to make champs. And then maybe next year you bring Snoopy back in. I personally just think they should be focusing on champs, but they are really putting their trust in the Snoopy. And we actually said the same thing about Purge after Major 1. Like we liked how they were sort of instilling that confidence into him. So maybe it's the same thing here. I'm never going to count it out, but I don't know, dude. Honestly, I Slasher or Preso or both could have been gone in my opinion. I just think Slasher is pretty relatively consistent. He's been kind of bad in Search this year, but he's a relatively consistent player. I don't know. This team is kind of, I mean, like we've already said, it's just like they can't do any worse. So you just keep trying things. You had Beans in your team last year. Pentagram's been in your academy system. He's obviously been a sub many times in the league. I hope it works for him. I really do. I really, really, really hope it works for him. But we're going to have to wait and see. I am excited to see their matches when we finally get back to it.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, one thing I do want to bring up, which is what Ben tweeted out for a little bit, was that, or somewhere it was said that Snoopy wasn't following play calls and it would cost the team. So I don't know. I guess that's just another reason why. It's like if it keeps happening, why are they keep trying to fix something that isn't going to be fixed? But again, I could be wrong. Ben could be wrong. I could be talking on my ass right now. But if that is happening, then it's like, why are you going to keep dealing with it if it's probably still going to be happening with the same team that you have right now? So I don't know. I
Like
guess
you
we'll
said,
see.
Jake, I'm a fan and a firm believer in instilling the confidence in your rookies. But when we saw it with Vegas, Standy was not their best player.
Mhm.
He was probably their third best player. So people were flabbergasted that Purge still had a spot, but then they were like, okay, well, if it wasn't Purge to go, it was Standy. I'm not saying that with Asim. I have no idea what strings Snoopy has them on over there at that camp, but uh, this is it for me for him for sure. If I've given him enough chances, I feel personally, but if he shows me nothing this next split for sure, I'm done. I'm taking all my Snoopy stock out. This is a prove it split for Snoopy for sure.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, they must really feel that they have a star in their system with Snoopy, and they think that he can really be something. And I like it. I like it a lot because I feel like the one of the things I dislike about COD, but is also really entertaining and is great for tactical rab, is the constant roster changes. Um, it's cool, it's entertaining, but you never really see any chemistry built. You never really see people bet on their players. So I do like that they're betting on Snoopy. I think it's different. It goes against the grain from what we typically see in COD esports. And I hope it works for them. I hope we're all wrong with what we're saying right now. But we are programmed to think like how we've seen in the past, which is the player's not really working, and especially if what Ben said, like he's not listening to calls or he's not learning play calls, you just move on from him. But hey, I'm excited to see what they do. I'm not gonna hate on them. We're just giving our 2 cents. All right, let's move on and talk about the Minnesota ROKKR. So the original report came out a couple days ago that Illy and Standy were set to be replacing Awakening and Vivid on this Minnesota ROKKR team. Vivid officially announced he was a free agent, so we know for sure Vivid's gone. I don't believe Awakening has announced anything, and the team hasn't said anything. But then it also came out tonight, I think it was, that Gunless is scrimming with ROKKR, and Illy scrimmed with them, but that apparently fell through. So we're possibly looking at a Standy Gunless duo heading into Minnesota. This is interesting, man. This is really interesting because I kind of wish the Illy thing worked out, because I really think that's a team that can actually compete for getting another top 4 at a major. We haven't seen Big P on the pro level in a minute, but I still think this could be a team that, out of all the roster moves, makes the most noise. Feeling it?
Nah. I'll tell you right now, I love Big P in that spot. You need somebody that's going to get a lot of kills and slay, but that Standy pickup makes no sense to me. I'm sorry. You have Lins. You don't need Standy. They practically do the same thing. Lins is a slaying SMG. He's over there making plays. You need somebody that's willing to play the objective. Standy hasn't done that a single time in his career. Standy's been the slaying SMG the entire time. He's been the heavy slayer. He's been in that multi kills, lacking an objective role for his, no matter what gun he uses. I don't know. I don't think I like that as much. I think you could have picked up someone. Dare I say Asim? I mean, there's better options. Like, there's other options here that I think would make more sense in that position. I like the Gunless pickup. I just don't think that sub duo makes sense to me, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I think I would have preferred. I mean, to be fair, if they're dropping Wake and Vivid, Wake, I can see why. I mean, my guy has been
I think we all
buns
can.
he's been absolutely horrid the whole season, which is crazy to say because he was like, when he was dropped from Boston last year, people were going crazy. Like, why was he dropped? Why was he dropped? When he was probably their best player. But now, like, again, don't know why people are saying because he has hand issues and stuff like that. But just whatever it is, he needed to figure it out, and he needs to figure it out because he was buns. Vivid. Vivid is Vivid. I mean,
We all
you're
know
gonna
what
get,
you're getting from Vivid.
yeah, we are. He's just gonna run straight and hope he finds someone. He's gonna get in a bunch of engagements. He's gonna win some. He's gonna lose some. But yeah, Vivid is Vivid. I think, like I said, I think I would have preferred the Illy pickup a lot more. because we know what Illy could bring. Again, he hasn't played for in a little bit, so maybe that could change. But I think him over Awakening was a good pick for flex, and then for SMG, as Preston said, I guess the standee they're just gonna force him to be Sir Hill Kitten and just let Lens go all ape shit and kill everyone. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about this team completely.
Yeah.
The only thing.
Oh, sorry, you go.
No,
No,
no, no,
you
no.
go.
You spoke already. I spoke already. You need to speak.
All right. I was gonna say, I maybe it's just me trying to play devil's advocate a little bit, but I kind of think this team is gonna be better than we think it's gonna be. I feel like this is low-key a case of stacking talent, and it's something that we've obviously seen people talk about a lot. Zuma's a guy who's always said he's going to take the talent over anything else when it comes to building a roster. And I don't always agree with that. I think your team strategy and structure and the roles does matter. But in a league where the top four is so far ahead, you're never going to catch up to them, and the bottom eight are so close together, I almost think stacking this talent in a way with just players that know how to get kills could solidify ROKKR as a consistent top 6 team. Is it the best team comp? Obviously not, right? From what we've seen from Linz and what we know of Standy, they kind of play a similar role. Is it going to work? Probably not, but who knows? Maybe Linz is actually a really good aggressive SMG and we just don't know it yet, or we just haven't really seen it, and he's going to be getting active on the map, playing more of a fast-paced Vivid type role. I think Gunless, at least from what we've known of him in the past, is obviously an MVP caliber player. Putting him alongside Lamar could be really, really good. I too wish it was Illy. I think people were even saying it like months ago. Like, imagine if they somehow got Illy after he got benched on this team. But could this team be better? Sure. But also, how much better really is it going to be? I think this team could be a top 6 team. I think you could add other people and they'd still possibly be a top 6 team. What are we laughing at in chat?
That's crazy. You said if I throw on some glasses, I can sneak into the venue as Illy.
That's hilarious.
Honestly,
Dude, come on.
Illy, I'm here to play for ROKKR.
No, what I was gonna say is the only way I can actually see this working is if Linz plays more like the Shotzi route, because you gotta have like the selfless, fast-paced, aggressive SMG if you have a player like Standy behind you. Standy is like, obviously he's not Pred, but he plays similarly to Pred, where he's gonna get his kills.
Mm-hmm.
And the Shotzi and Pred dynamic has worked well because Shotzi's just gonna run everywhere. He's just gonna run. So if Linz can develop the playstyle where that kind of happens, then I guess, yeah, it could work. I just don't think it will. I don't. I mean, prove me wrong, obviously, but I don't think it's gonna work personally.
Oh yeah. I'm happy Big P's back in the league.
Possibly. I guess we'll see.
Oh yeah, possibly. I know he tweeted like a few days, like yesterday or something like that, or 2 days ago, that he's like better than 90% of the ARs in the league or something like that. And that was another whole big discussion because Exceed inputted his input. He said, I could probably get a team right now and get top 4 or top 6. Woo, I want what he's smoking, but yeah.
No, I definitely, like Ree just said in chat, like no reason to drop Vivid. I feel for Reese. I thought Reese was pretty good. He was pretty good in Major 1. He obviously slowed down a lot in Major 2. He's just a guy that, like, you know he's going to be inconsistent, but his peaks are really, really high. So it's kind of like, I think at this point in the league, with, like I said, the top 4 being so far ahead, you have to find a consistent team that is going to get top 6, because that's how you're going to qualify for champs. And then maybe you have a really good day on LAN, or a top 4 team that's a bad day, and you find yourself in the top 4, like we saw at Major 1. I think it's time to bet on consistency, and I feel like that's probably why they got rid of Reese. But I do think we're going to see him back in the league, if not this season, but definitely next season for sure. That guy's going to always be back in the league because what he brings to the table is really good, and homie's got the best accuracy in the league. His gunning is crazy.
If he was just consistent, he would be so good. He'd be so good.
It's hard with that role.
I know, but if he was just consistent, man, He'd probably be top 10. I'm not even gonna lie. He'd probably be
I'm
top 10.
Dude, he has
pretty
that
sure, like,
potential.
yeah, I'm pretty sure like the past 2 seasons, like I've seen that he's like the most accurate, and that's crazy, especially with the SMG and then with how many engagements he gets.
Hmm.
But if he was just way more consistent, I know people were saying that he got dropped because of some of the bonehead plays that he did while playing on ROKKR, and I mean I get it, but again, it's just one of those things where everyone makes bonehead plays. Uh, they may cost you a series, they may cost you a game, but it just is what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh man. I think that's it for roster changes specifically. The one thing I did also want to touch on before we move on to the next thing is Miami, LAG, and Ravens are three teams that have not been rumored to or have officially made a change. And I want to get your guys' take on those three teams because you could also add Vegas in there, but I feel like for the most part, unless you're like a KD watcher, we kind of understand why Vegas isn't making a change. But for those three, Miami, Gorillas, Ravens, they have not rumored to or have made a change yet. I want to know what you guys think.
Miami needs something. They need Jesus. They
I
need.
need Jesus.
I don't know what they need, but I've said this before. I am not giving them my Vamos any longer this year. They're so buns. I mean, they barely squeaked into winners for their own major, and then they got double first rounded. It's just like you need something. Eric Boom, I'm sorry, he's not doing it for you.
Sorry, Eric.
Put Real in, put somebody else in. You know, I mean, I know people are starting to question like the whole Spanish team or like Spanish team like setup that they have, and I get it, but we know what the players on their org can do. But I don't know. They need something. Hopefully, Real puts some pressure on all of the guys now that he has his visa now. He's in Miami with them, so hopefully he puts some pressure on them. That shit. If I don't perform, I'm gonna get benched for Real because I know a lot of people have been saying that Real's been really good. He just didn't get a fair chance on Ravens because of his visa issues and stuff like that. So hopefully, now that he's here, it'll put pressure on them that they need to perform or they will get dropped.
Yeah, I mean, Miami's faded. They gotta change. They for sure need to change. I'm not even. That's all I'm saying there. You can ask some blind grandmother who's never watched Call of Duty a day in her life.
Lord.
She'd probably say that Miami needs to make a team change, to be honest. As far as Carolina and LAG go, I can understand them not making a change. I probably still would, but I can understand them not making a change. I mean, they both just got top 6, right? So I get it. I personally think that Carolina would be better if they replaced Fellow. I love Fellow. I know what he brings to a team, but I just think that team just lacks slaying so much. They really just lack slaying. The amount of time their teamwork's good, but the amount of times they lose a series, they're getting outslayed. I don't know if I've seen them lose a series this season where they've won in slaying. Typically, because their teamwork is so good, if they are slaying, they're gonna win the series. Their slaying is a little too inconsistent for my liking. LAG, I mean, he had a great event, but I still think you probably gotta get rid of Assault. I was talking mad shit on Assault leading up into the event, and then he had an absolute lights out event. So, I mean, good for him, but I just still think he's a little too inconsistent for me. And really, a lot of people have said it, but I don't get the shit, what the hell's his name? Fame hype. I don't get the fame hype, dude. I don't. I couldn't think of his name for a sec. I don't. He has his moments, but like it just doesn't. He just kind of disappears at times too. I feel like he had a lackluster event. First of all, Estriel's great. Shout out that dude. He's fighting.
He's been getting better every series.
He is fighting. And Diamond Con also was a little disappointing, I'm not going to lie. We've been talking him up a lot because he's been playing really well all season, but he was a little disappointing. But I do think if you kept Diamond Con and Estriel and kind of built around those two, you can have a nice little fundamental squad. I like You like there's some like dude. I saw someone put in the chat. I don't know who said it, but it like if they managed a way to get like Illy on this team for assault and
Be a
pick up like
fast team.
yeah, and pick up like dude, imagine like Illy and Asim on LAG, dude. That's a squad. Actually, that might actually be a squad because then they're good at S&D too with Illy. And you already know that Estriel and DC are gonna bring down they're gonna help with the hard points, so oof, no vets joining LAG. I know. I'm just saying imagine. I'm saying imagine, okay? I know it's not gonna
Honestly,
happen, but
for LAG, I agree that they should build around Astral and DiamondCon. Um, but I don't know. It's just so tough for them. I do think they should make a move. Assault or Fame, one of them needs to go because honestly, like if they keep the same four, they're not going to get any better than top six, unfortunately. I mean, even if they make a change, they still may not get any better than top six. But it's just you need to do something to hopefully make a push at these next two majors to try, hopefully get into Sunday. But right now, with just those four players, it's not going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah,
I
dude.
like that.
Play Illy, Tej, and Gwyn. You like that?
Mm.
Yeah, dude. It'll be interesting to see Ravens. They're moving into they're getting a facility, which I think is really cool. Obviously, we get to finally see them play their online matches in the same room together, build that chemistry, and maybe that helps them emulates that sort of LAN environment to some extent that they clearly are better on. So we'll see how that goes. And Reed, thank you for hitting the sub button. I appreciate it.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I'm definitely interested to see what happens with Ravens. That
team would be nasty though.
That team would be.
Illy, Tees, and Gwyn, that would be nasty.
That team would be really nasty.
Clay and Illy have that chemistry already from Empire and stuff, so I could see that.
Dude, for LAG, I almost feel like they should just give Estriel the keys and be like, bro, who do you want to play with? Like, tell us who you want to play with and we'll make it happen. I mean, maybe he likes his team and he wants to play with them, like the current team they have. And I don't know. I'd probably make a change if I was the GM. But I don't know, dude. Estriel seems like he could really be like a above average player in the league. Like, not just your normal role player. Like, I feel like Estriel really could have that star power in him. To be a guy that could really be a lead on your team, that lead slayer and playmaker. I think he's given the keys, but I agree. Diamond Con, I mean, you could probably keep Fame too, in my opinion. I think he's very hit or miss, but a lot of players in the league are, I guess. I think Slasher on that team for Assault would be great, but like people have said in chat, LAG is not going to pay Slasher, and we already saw what happened the last time Slasher was on that team. I mean, they did win one event, but I doubt he wants to go back.
Yeah.
Slasher to Ravens also could be a reasonable call for Fellow. Fellow's actually been playing typically slower than Clayster this year, which I didn't think. Clay's actually been playing really fast this year, so I could see, I don't know personality-wise if it works, but I could see, at least pacing-wise, it can make some sense.
That feels like a recipe for disaster.
Dude, at the end of the day, these guys, if it's a personality thing, they just got to be grown-ups and play to win. You know what I mean?
I think it's a gameplay thing, too. They both kind of suck right now. I mean...
Well... Dude, Clay's been playing fast. He's been putting in damage. Maybe he just needs an AR behind him that can just shoot a little bit back and help clean up his kills. Because Fellow, other than on land, really doesn't shoot back.
Yeah.
That's rough. My guy Fellow, I don't know what, he needs to fix something online. I get it, it's online COD, but it's rough for him. But I will say, LAG, shout out to y'all for finally getting an intro for Major 2. Because that was rough with that one.
I kind of really like that Illy shout, dude. I don't know what happened with Minnesota.
Apparently Illy's available, so
I don't know what happened
could be
with
worth
Minnesota, but if rumor is saying that he's available, dude, you know he'd play with Clay again. For sure he'd play with Clay again. That team is actually probably solid, to be honest. I don't know, like...
They'd be god tier at S&D.
They're definitely consistently top 8. Like, and they're going to get to top 6, maybe crack a top 4 at a tourney. I mean, with the top 4 that we have right now, it would take, like, a top 4 team probably choking.
Have a stinker, yeah.
Yeah. but anything's possible. I think Illy for fellow 100% solidifies them top 8. Like I that will put them in a champ spot for me. That makes so much sense to me because their S&D has been lackluster. There you go. That solves that right there. Illy's insane at S&D. And he also was one of the best slayers before whatever happened with him on Seattle. So, dude, that makes so much sense to me. Really, that's like the perfect fill-in role for him. That is a great shout.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if Clay slows down a little bit, like we typically I feel like are used to Clay playing. I think that makes sense. But dude, I don't know. I didn't realize that Clay was playing as fast as he is. I don't know if he's always been
that way.
I know he's always been like not your typical main AR in terms of pacing, but he's been pushing it, bro. Like he's been like really keep like pushing the pace this year. Shout out Slayster, dude. Shout out Slayster.
You kind of have to push the pace with
fellow. Yeah.
Okay, well, golly, I wasn't gonna say that.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess he's had Fellow and God RX as his 2 teammates so far, and both of those guys are slower players than he is. So I guess he's playing more that second AR faster role.
Listen,
I forgot about God RX. Oh
I hope he's enjoying retirement.
More to Call of Duty than kills and KD. I'm well aware. So nobody cook us. We get that, but he's like, besides being like on 100% correct on the map, he's just not doing damage. He's getting slammed. Like if he just played better. Like I'm not asking him to be insane. He just needs to play better and they'd be good. But it hasn't been there for him this year.
Yeah. I see people in chat saying that Slasher is not good anymore. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion. He's obviously not having a good year, but I don't think he's playing much different than he was last year. And last year he was on the #1 team in the standings that won an event. So I still think Slasher very much can be good. But Slasher's not a guy that's going to go out there and win you a map. Like, he's not going to win you a game. He might win you a map here and there, but it's very rare that you see Insight or Skies or, Dashy out there making the plays consistently that is winning people series. They're just a consistent backline where the people in front of them are the ones that are really making the big time plays. So I personally think Slasher still has a lot to give and can be on, given the right AR duo. Dude, I really thought Cammy coming into that Boston team with Slasher could have been good. I still think Slasher has a lot to give with a solid damage dealing, slaying second AR in front of him. But hey, to each their own, man. I'm not gonna tell people they're wrong if that's what they think.
No, he's not the Slasher that he used to be, because he used to be the takeover, highest kills, highest damage AR player. That's not who he is anymore. That's fine. He doesn't need to be that player. But you can't team him with another AR that isn't the highest damage, highest killing. Like, you can't have two of those on the same team.
No.
That's exactly what... now, Clay does a lot of damage, but that's exactly what Ravens is doing right now. Their 2 ARs aren't exactly the highest slaying in the lobby. Typically, it's Teacher Gwyn. And, I mean... God, that Boston team was just pathetic, really. I mean,
it was bad.
Like, you got to have 1-1. You can have a solid AR duo if you're 1-1. You can't have 2. And if you have 2, it has to be 2 high damage, and even that sometimes doesn't work out. We saw last year with Beads and Awakening, and didn't really work out on Boston. Those 2 were putting up numbers and kills every single series, and it didn't really work out that well. So it's got to be a balance, man. So he's not as good as he once was. He's not trash, but I did think he was droppable for sure.
They could four-man wipe that team in Boston.
Priesta's not an AR.
Priest is a flex. Priest can use both guns.
He's about as flex as a flex player can get. Seriously.
Priest can do it all. There's not a lot of... I mean, I'm sure every player can use every weapon, but there's not a lot of players we've seen in recent years actually flex and use other weapons and be successful, and Priest is one of them. He's one of the guys that we know can do it. And plus, when players get older, they tend to kind of move from SMGs to AR roles, like we've seen with Attach, like we could say, who's cooking right now too, by the way. But Attach used to be him and Zuma as an SMG duo was so amazing to watch, bro. But now he's an AR. You know what I mean? It just happens. The SMGs are these young cracked kids, and the older guys move into AR roles.
He definitely made his name as an SMG. Nobody's arguing that, but he did just win champs last year and 3 tourneys as an AR. So let's not like say that he can't play as an AR because he can. I mean, the guy won champs last year, so.
All right, now I want to talk about, I'm switching the camera over. I want to talk about the maps and some of the stuff that came in the update today. But I first want to talk about the Ordnance gloves being GA'd by the pros. I have the tweet pulled up on screen. You can see here my comment that I replied to this. I said our esport is never going to grow if cool plays like NYSL did at Major 2 aren't allowed. And I've had people in the comments calling me a dumbass, people calling me brain dead, people saying that it would completely ruin the game. So I will open the floor to you guys, and I want to know your thoughts on this. In chat, let me know. Do you guys think this is a W or an L for this GA? But I have a reasonable rant I want to go on, so I'm going to let you guys go first.
I mean, it's an L, honestly. Yes, it happened against OpTic, that wonderful round 11 3-piece car bomb that happened from Skies. But, I mean, yeah, it's just an L. Like, if teams just have to adapt, unfortunately. I know Methods just tweeted that.
I have his tweet queued up, brother. I have. Okay. I'll pull it up right now if you want to start talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, he tweeted it. You know, he understands why, and you know, I guess from his perspective, it's easier for a team to abuse the Ordnance gloves in like late rounds, or you know, waste trophies and use that strategy so that, you know, if you do go for like a post plant attack when, you know, it's already planted and stuff like that, it's easier to get in there without having to worry about trophies and stuff like that. But I mean, just adapt in some way. You know, you're like, it's taking the skill away from the game. It's like how you said, it's taking those plays away from the game that we like to see. You know, teams spend countless amount of times, you know, trying to find nade spots that work good. I mean, it's an L in my opinion, honestly.
I think you're brain dead, a dumbass, and it's a horrible. I don't really care, to be honest. The only thing that I have to say about it is why. Like, okay, Sky's got a triple car bomb on Karachi. Congrats, but that's the first time we've seen that this year. Your timing has to be perfect. And unless you, first of all, teams are not going to throw that nade every single life. Teams are going to want to keep nades and stuns for retakes.
Thank you.
For bomb plants. That it's not like they're just going to chuck all 4 nades with Ordnance gloves over a building every single round. And if so, it's absolutely stupid, because how are you ever going to retake a bomb, a post plant bomb? So I don't really know. Like at max, you'll probably throw it like 3 times a game. And in those 3 times, you'll get lucky if you hit it once. And if you do hit it once, they're not going to go back to that spot ever again. So, I don't know. I think it's more strategy and good planning from the team that does it than anything. Is it kind of cheesy? I guess. But it's not cheesy enough to the point where teams are going to just absolutely abuse it. It's not like a thing where they could spawn up every single life and get a kill with it. That's not going to happen. So I think it's a dumb GA in terms of the GA. Especially with the... Wait, because I haven't been on Twitter much but today. But didn't stuns and nades get nerfed as well?
They did.
Okay, so like, why? Like, why? Unless you throw it perfectly on a car, it does nothing. Am I faded? Faded?
No, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. I think that's just That's probably crybaby cheese, to be honest. They don't want that shit to happen again, but whatever. Let's just GA Wallbang. Let's GA Hydra from killing Kleenex on the Karachi ladder. He's not allowed to do that either.
Hydra should probably be banned for a whole series. They should play a 3v4 for that.
I mean, they put in the work and they plan. Dude, I mean, their lineups. People in Val do it all the time, but you got to know what you got to. First of all, it's got to be perfect. You got to throw it in the right spot. You got to time it perfectly. So, it's strategy, man. Why? I don't get it. I really don't.
Dude, like, so.
Okay. All right.
So chat for you guys' reference. Alex sent this tweet from the rotation in our group chat like before we started the show, like 30 minutes earlier or whatever. Dude, I immediately got angry when I read this tweet. I think and for what I want to start off by saying, the game should be better in the whole as a whole, right? Like the cars maybe shouldn't do as much damage, not as big a blaster. Like I saw people in the comments that were like, it's not the pros GAing things. It's like the game should be balanced better. Things should be fixed. Blah blah blah. I agree. I wish the game was perfect, but it's not. We have to move on from that. It's never going to be perfect. For me, it comes down to a couple things. One, it comes back to my reply to the tweet that I had, which is about, are esports never going to grow? Is Ordnance Glove being GA'd really making a big difference in the growth of the esport? Obviously not. But it's those plays like what happened with New York getting a triple car bomb kill against OpTic on a championship Sunday that are posted to Twitter, posted to TikTok, YouTube, that go viral, that people see this and they're like, wow, I play Call of Duty. I never knew there was something this exciting going on with COD. Like, it's those plays that bring new fans in. It's like seeing an insane poster dunk in the NBA or a crazy 35-yard free kick goal in soccer. Like, these highlight moments that we don't really get a lot in COD are really, really good for the growth of the scene, in my opinion. But the other thing about it that it comes down to is, like, just get better at the game. Like, just adapt. There's a reason that Counter-Strike or League of Legends are as popular as they are. It's because the skill gap in these games is massive. Now, obviously, pro players are much better than challengers players, and they're much better than I am. But the difference between a top Counter-Strike player and a global elite player in Counter-Strike is insane. The amount of practice and time these players learn and they put into learning lineups, learning team, coming up with strategy, knowing this is our strat we're going to pull off when we're on offense. And then on the flip side, you as the defending team, knowing this is what they might do, this is what they might not do, trying to counter that, having your own strats. It builds a whole nother layer into like understanding of the game, strategy, your smarts for it. And it's kind of what Octane said into this is like, it adds a whole nother layer of knowledge. You just need to learn to play around it. And that's just the facts. Like, if you're so afraid of getting car bombed on Karachi, the next round when you're on that side, you can car bomb them back. You can use a trophy to block the nade. You can go a different route. Like, I just think it's stupid that we just GA things because we don't want to learn how to adapt to them. Snipers could be in search and destroy. You just got to have smokes in the game too. You smoke off lines of sight. You use your smoke. Now, if you don't use the smoke to your advantage and you waste it, and now you're stuck with a sniper on a head glitch and you can't go anywhere, that's on you. I just think, like, I've been a big Counter-Strike fan since 2013. The utility in Counter-Strike and the abilities in Valorant is what makes the game so enjoyable. If you took out smokes and nades, or you limited the smokes to like 2 per team on Counter-Strike, the game would just not be as good. You have to learn how to play with what's given. Back in the day in COD, they barely had GAs. I used to see Clayster blowing up cars with freaking sticky crossbow nades. Like, that was fun, bro. That is fun, and that was when COD was at its best. I don't know, dude. I just think it's kind of stupid. It really gets me annoyed because I feel like we're holding ourselves back by just GAing things or not trying new maps, not adding new things. I see Slayer says shotguns in COD. Obviously, I don't want to see shotguns or rocket launchers and things like that. But yes, things are cheesy. Car bombs on Karachi are cheesy. But like, bro, just throw a trophy down if you think they're gonna throw a nade. Is it a waste? Then if you counter strat them, good for you. If you waste a trophy, sorry. Like it just comes with the way the game's played. That's just my thought on it. I'm just tired of the GAs. I'm sure people agree, people disagree, but I just had to get that off my chest because, dude, I was a little heated when I saw that earlier.
If I got cross map car bombed with a freaking crossbow, I'd never play the Call of Duty game
Dude, that
again. I'm
clip
just
of
letting you
play
know.
on Raid is so legendary.
I would never play the game again. If that's how I start off a hard point by getting cross map crossbow blown up by a car, I'm probably uninstalling. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Honestly, like if I get cross map nated like that, I'm tipping it.
Just
Like I'm
tip
gonna be
it.
a little, I'm gonna be like,
That's tippable.
I'm like, what did I just die to? And then I look at the kill cam and I'll be like, I gotta tip that. Like he just Kobe'd me. Like I can't be mad about that.
No, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I think GAs in general is just stupid.
Yeah, I get it to an extent. There are things like shotguns or
they're
rocket
banned.
launchers that should be banned, or if they're not banned, GA. I'm like, I get it, but at the end of the day, dude, it goes back to Celium, brother. Like you can do it too. You know what I mean? You can do it too. If they got
Exactly.
ordnance glove lineups, brother, you use an ordnance glove lineup right back. You know what I mean?
Everything but snaking. Keep that
Yeah,
shit
no,
out.
keep snaking out of here for sure. But like, just can we just learn how to play the game like and not just like to boil it down to 2 guns and like 1 stun and 1 frag and like maybe you get a smoke here and there. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, the more things we add into the game that's available for use for these pros, the larger the skill gap gets. And then also, and we're going to get into this with the maps in a second, having these different things in here that add another layer of knowledge, another layer of strategy, gives these bottom 8 teams a chance to maybe catch up with the top 4 when they're just getting absolutely destroyed when it comes to raw talent. But hey, what do I know? Like I said, I'm just a fan. I'm just your average COD player. I don't know shit. I'm just a viewer, and I want to have a fun viewing experience. And it comes to the pros, and playing the game is a completely different story that I cannot personally speak on firsthand. So, shout out the pros, shout out the GAs. It is what it is, I guess, right?
It is what it is.
All right, let's real brief. I just to touch on it. The MCW and the rival were nerfed today. Octane said the MCW basically feels the exact same. I haven't seen people really say much about the rival. I don't know if you guys have anything you want to say about that, but I figured I'd just share it for the sake of stream and video in case people didn't know about that.
I mean, I was still when my 2 ranked play matches, I purposely use both of them. There's definitely a lot more people using the swarm because I guess that's a viable option. But even then, the swarm has already been GA. I think it was like the first GA that the pros did. The MCW still feels the same to me, and the swarm still feels the same to me. Maybe I mean, I'm not really taking like close, like long range gunfights like that, but like up close, the rival still seems fine to me, honestly.
It's still going to be the meta, so it doesn't really make a difference, to be honest. I guess in terms of sub players, the no 4-shot headshot now is good for them, but I guess we'll see how badly the sub nerf comes into play. But I think it'll kind of just counteract, balance out.
Yep. And then we can talk about the maps. I see Flan Squad asked what our ranks are. What are your guys' rank in MW3?
Well,
Right now-
reset now, right? So I guess.
Well, I
Diamond
guess just
1,
like whatever you peaked at so far this year.
Diamond 1.
Crim 2, I think.
Yeah, I haven't really played much, but I think I was plat last season. So, we
Crim-
got a little bit of skill here.
Crim 2, almost Crim 3, and I lost like 6 in a row. So.
I'm Diamond 1.
But yeah, last thing on terms of all the updates and stuff. Obviously, we have some new maps. 6-star and emergency, I believe, are like the only, or also tank. They're ones that maybe are be considered. I think it's 6-star and tank that people are really talking about.
Yeah.
I would love to know if you guys have thoughts about playing the maps, but also just the idea of getting new maps into the map pool.
We need new maps. I mean, honestly, I'm tired of seeing triple invasions every other series. I'm tired of it. Invasion needs to go. High rise control needs to go. We just downright need new maps. I mean, we still need to get Vista and Departure in. Hopefully six. I mean, honestly, I'll say 6-star. I like to just load up on a private match and just put the hard points and just kind of walk around, see if you can see anything. The first 3 hills, they're really close to each other, like really, really close to each other, which I don't really like. The last hill in the pool is a little dumb, in my opinion. But overall, I mean, I could see 6-star. They just need some rework. Tanked, I did hear Attach said that he liked Tank, so it sounds like they scrimmed it a little bit. I'm not sure if it was just Tanked or 6-star, or if it was all the maps or just one particular map. But Attach said that Tanked wasn't so bad. So
I haven't played, so I can't speak much on playing. But I am always down for adding new maps, because not only is it a viewing enjoyable thing for me, but it's also fun to keep things fresh, and there's a little bit of a skill gap in it, because teams can just get really good at a single map, but constantly changing things up makes teams adapt. So I will say though, I want to know your guys' thoughts on. I understand like the veto process behind it, and just adding in maps would screw up vetoes, and it wouldn't really add that much weight. But why can't we just add versus replacing? Like I was talking to Dan, and Dan Ghosty gave
Shout
me
out
his
Ghosty.
professional answer, saying that it has to do with vetoes, and this is the way they have it set up in 553. Each team gets a ban, and it just mathematically works out almost perfectly, right? So I get that, but I think it would add a little bit more strategy if more maps were in, because now you gotta pick 1 out of 7 or 8 maps to ban instead of 5. And then if there are multiple maps that you're bad at, you're playing one. Like FaZe right now never plays sub-base. OpTic right now never plays high-rise. If there's a 6th, 7th, 8th map that comes in where either one of those 2 teams are bad at it, they have to pick whether or not they're going to play the new map or high-rise. I think it would add some depth. I think it would make things way more interesting. And I think vetoes are overrated, but that's, I guess, could be a topic for a different day.
I see people saying that. I think in CS:GO, like there is no vetoes. Like you play all the maps regardless if you suck at them or not.
They do map vetoes typically in a series, but they have like a select map pool. So if there's 6 maps, they might replace one with another. Like it'll never go up or down in terms of total maps, but they will veto. They will veto throughout a series, I believe.
I love the way Halo does it, man. I really do. I absolutely love the way Halo does it. I was getting cooked for tweeting that the other day. I tweeted that the other day, but I absolutely love it. Each team is forced to play every single map and mode. You are forced to play. You don't get to pick which one you don't want to play. You can be 0-8 on a single map, and you have the chance to play that map in a series. And I think that adds a level of competitiveness. Now, people says that takes a level of competitiveness away, and it gives an opportunity for a worse team to beat a better team. Does that not just increase the competitiveness? I mean, that to me sounds like that increases the competitiveness. I think it makes every single team have to be better, have to be more versatile, have to be balanced and good at almost everything versus being really good at a few things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I agree. I mean, I'm sure that it is just like kind of like a mathematical veto thing with the amount of maps in the pool to just sort of make it make sense with what maps get vetoed and what maps get picked. I don't know. I think adding more to the pool, like you're saying, would add another layer to it where it's like, well, I know this team is really good at this map and this map, but I can only veto one of them. So what map are we better at and all that sort of thing? What do we want to square up on? So I don't know, but I 100% agree with the sentiment that we need to get some of these goddamn maps in the pool, bro. We need to get Invasion out for at least Hardpoint or Control. Honestly, maybe Control was worse because Invasion Control is, I hated watching Invasion Control, but Hardpoint's not really that much better either. I think we just got to start mixing it up.
Yeah, we know Vista is in.
Yeah,
And
Vista is in.
or something. They haven't said what's out yet. I know
Listen,
most people want Invasion out.
I got a little birdie. I don't know how accurate it is, but I do have a little birdie.
Oh, this guy's got intel.
Hold on, little birdie. What little birdie say?
Let me find it. Let me find it. I'm obviously not gonna say who it's from.
I might give little birdie a kiss.
Yo.
But I might have. Now this could be entirely wrong because I don't know anything about this person. But apparently it's been voted. We're waiting for an official ruling. But it's looking like from this that it's gonna be Vista HP for Skid Row. Vista S&D for Invasion.
Okay, interesting.
And they're still voting on departures. But if it were to make it in, S&D would be for High Rise, Control would be for Invasion.
Interesting, dude. I thought S&D and Invasion was the best of the three modes.
So, like I said, you guys take that with a grain of salt. I have a couple people that send me stuff early. I know for a fact some of them are almost 100% right. This is not from any of those people. So take this literally with the grainest of grains of salt. So
I do like Skid getting taken out. Skid's got some hills that are, P2, P5 that are hard to break.
I liked Skid Row at the beginning of the year, but as the scene is going on, as this competitive year has gone on, I've really started to dislike it a lot, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, the decision came down to pros don't like Invasion, but they don't like how impossible it is to break P5 or P2 Skid Row without shrieks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Both P2 and P5 are
Which high-rise mode is being replaced?
S&D. Wait, right?
I think you said search.
S&D, yeah.
S&D fueled is being replaced.
Possibly.
Maybe. That's the wrong intel. I mean,
dude,
like I said,
I'd rather sub-base, personally.
I'm sitting here telling you right now that I have zero confidence because I have no idea. I'm just relaying information that was given to me. That's all I'm saying. Like I said, there are people that I know that talk to me a couple days early or give me information X amount of hours, minutes before things hit the timeline that I know are going to tell me the absolute truth. This ain't one of them. So I'm not sitting here with any confidence saying that this is right. So
that's funny. We'll see.
I'm okay with it, honestly. I know a lot of people were shitting on Departure at first, but as they started to play it and stuff like that, I know Kenny was one of the first ones to be like, I prefer Departure over Vista, 1000%. And I know Vista, when that first came out, pros were all over that. They're like, oh, it looks so great, it plays great on HP. But then as it started to go on and stuff like that, people were like, it's actually not the best. But again, nonetheless, I'm excited to get new maps in and hopefully watch just some banger series on the maps.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm ready to see. I think you said Attach said they were scrimming. Hopefully these teams really are giving these maps a good go. I know teams want to scrim the maps. They're actually going to have to play in a couple weeks or in a week or whatever. But please, for the love of God, just take an hour out of your day for the next couple days and scrim these maps and actually give them a real go, because it's easy to just default back to what we know and what we're used to, but please, for the sake of the viewers, you need the viewership if you want to keep your job. So please, for us, let's try the maps.
That's what happened with Greece. Again, I don't know if Greece was good for HP, S&D, or Control, because I've never played it on that. But I know the pros didn't even give Greece a chance.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. So, one last thing for us on my itinerary here. We like to play a couple games here and there. So I got a game for you boys today. In chat, you can obviously play along as well. We're going to be blind ranking CDL players. So I'm going to give you 5 players, one by one, and you're going to blind rank them 1 through 5 without knowing who's coming next. I'm sure you've seen
Okay.
these on. I've done these on TikTok and stuff too. Let me switch my camera over because I made a little sheet so we can just kind of see what we got. So I'm going to give you a player. You guys are going to come to a consensus whether you want to put them 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. We're going to go through all of them. I have 2 lists, and we'll see what you can come up with. We'll see if you can get these in the order that we all think they would be in, but obviously it's a blind ranking, so that's what makes it hard.
Okay.
So your first player is going to be Kleenex.
Okay, hold on. Is this career or this year?
This is this year. Sorry, should have classified.
Oh, okay.
This is
Okay,
this
this
year,
year.
and these are only players that have played this year on these lists.
And then wait, are me and Preston creating a list together, or is it just like our own?
No,
individual?
come to a consensus.
Okay.
And you can look at chat. So you can see what chat's thinking.
I think he's probably a nice little middle ground, to be honest.
Yeah, I was thinking 3, like off rip.
Yeah, me too.
All right, you guys are gonna go with 3 for Toby. Number 2. Your next player is Sib. Would you say Sib is above or below Kleenex? That's really the one way to look at it.
He's good, but has he been
I think
Kleenex
4.
good?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
4.
I'd probably put him 4th this year.
Okay, another consensus. I love it.
Wow, if Sib's 4, this better be stacked. Oh shit.
You guys are betting on some good players coming up. Your next player is going to be TJ Halley.
Love T's with 5. Unfortunately.
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I hope we get studs. Holy shit.
Oh man, you better
We're
hope
like,
you get
fuck.
something good here now. Your next player is
Wait, if it's TJ looking for cookies, he's number 1.
your next player is Awakening.
Well,
the list is a little bit busted.
no, we're gonna put him 6.
I
We're gonna
love
put
it.
him
I
6.
love it.
Because that works, actually. That's fine. We just won't have a 1 or a 2. Honestly, big brain. He's 6.
All right, and then your last player is Kenny.
1. Sick. W.
What?
Banger list, chat. There's no 2. We don't need it 2.
Let's go.
We don't need
Let's
it
go.
2 on this list.
Honestly, if we
You put Kleenex at 2. I think you had it.
just bumped
Yeah.
everyone up 1, it's still a perfect
Look,
list.
Dude, I was like, he's 2 or 3. I was like, but just based off how they played Major 2, he's got to be 3.
That's fair. That's fair. All right. Your next list, whatever you want to call it. Your first player, this is a fun list. Your first player is Shotzi.
2.
Yeah, I think that's probably valid. He was average split 1, then he absolutely took over split 2. I think 2's fair.
All right. Good consensus again. You guys are on the same wavelength. Too bad we're not playing wavelength, but you're on the same one. All right. Your second player is going to be Pred.
You're actually a bastard. Are you kidding me? You couldn't have given us him last split. You gotta put him on the dude, and he's gonna give us a BZ, and then
And then Sam
and then
and Scrap.
Sam, Cell, and I mean, he's
We gotta put him 1.
gotta go 1, right? Surely, yes.
You don't want to leave one open just in case?
Well, he hasn't been worse than Shotzi.
Well, what's worse, having him below Shotzi but leaving one open for a potential scrap or simp, or is putting him 1 and then hoping you don't get one of those guys, make it better? You want this list to be as close to accurate as you can. No, you can't move Shotzi. But hey, no, you guys do you do whatever you think is right. I'm not, like I said, this you could have a bunch of scrubs after this, or you could have some all-stars.
We could put him 3 purely based on the fact that
Kind of had a stinker.
he had a rough grand finals. I'm okay with that.
All right,
Okay,
hey,
fine.
remember, this is your list. Don't let me talk you out of anything.
Yeah, but we're gonna get nobody for 1 now, and then I'm just gonna be absolutely cheesed.
Your third player is Attach.
1. Individually, 1.
Yeah, these are just the players, nothing to do with their teams.
He's been
I was gonna say
crazy
4.
this year. Whoa.
Whoa. We finally have different
Well,
answers.
because I
Whoa.
want to leave because what Jake said. You sure you don't want to leave one?
Dude,
No,
don't let me
uh-uh.
trick you, or don't let me change your mind.
Dude, Dill has been insane this year. Dude, Dill's been insane. Dill's been a top 4 player all year. Genuinely. Are we
Okay,
gonna go? Are we actually
okay.
gonna go 4?
We can put him one.
That feels wrong.
We can go one.
No, man. I mean, let me.
Because
Why you want to put him 4? Let me hear why you want to put him
Because
4.
I don't think he's been better than Shotzi or Pred. I mean, he hasn't made a Sunday.
You guys have to come to a consensus. If you want to
Okay
ask
with
chat can decide for you.
Yeah. Chat.
Do you want to
One or
ask chat?
One
All
or
right.
4, chat. 1 or 4, chat.
1 or 4, chat. Put it in there.
Okay, one or do a poll. Yeah, do a poll, Jake.
All right, chat. You're gonna have to look at me set up this poll because I'm sharing my screen. Let me start that poll. Bang. There we go. Get your votes in, chat. We'll give it 30 seconds. And we'll see what you think. 1 or 4 for attach on this list over here on the right side. We have Shotzi and Pred at 2 and 3.
It's looking like one.
I'm in their heads, chat. You're so fucked.
Dude, this is like when you're on like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire or whatever, and you're phoning a friend. You're using your lifeline right now. You got to see if your friend knows what's up here.
It's literally 50-50.
It's 50-50.
Well,
Who's gonna be the one deciding factor?
I'm
Do
getting
we stop it? Do we stop it at 15 and whoever wins wins?
at
Oh,
15.
4? We cut it at 4? Okay. Yeah. Fuck. All right. That's fine. We'll put it at 4.
All right, I'm closing a chat. 3, 2,
Oh,
1.
oh. So, wait, where'd it go?
It just went. It's in chat now. 18 votes. It looks like 4 won the vote.
All right,
Oh
chat.
no, I scuffed this now. Okay, actually, I didn't scuff this. This was all chat.
All
Don't
right,
blame me.
all right,
This was all
chat. Let's
chat.
see if you guys sold.
Here we go. We got fucking Purge, and let me guess, we got Lamar or some shit like that.
Your next player is Linz.
We should have put the fucker at 1. I...
Dude, you don't know. There could be a goat at number 5. How do you know I didn't leave like Simp down there waiting?
Yeah, he's got to go 5. Linz has to go 5.
Yeah,
he has
he has to go 5.
Dude, and your number 1 player in the list.
Dude, don't say
is-
Purge. Don't say Purge.
It
Don't say
starts with a
Purge.
P. It's Priesta.
Oh god.
Oh, chat, you guys sold. You sold the bread.
Chat sold. Can't believe it.
Chat sold the bread.
No chat. No chat.
Cat sold the bread, man. You would have
Chat,
put
I had
attach
it.
at 1.
Chad, I had him at 1, man. I had him at 1,
Chat
chat.
sold.
Dude,
No chat.
You also
I had
probably
him.
could have put Pred at 1, and then it would have left 3 for attach if you wanted to do it that way, but that might not have been right either.
If Pred would have had a better major split, I think I would have put him. At
Those
one.
were some hard lists, to be honest. You have to be like
Blind
spot
ranking, dude. Blind
on. You have to be
ranking.
spot on.
It's it's basically impossible. You just gotta guess.
Dude, it's like we got 4 out of 5. We just won each time.
Oh man. All right, but chat, is there any topics, questions, things you want us to kind of discuss for the last like 10 minutes here before we wrap it up? If there's any questions you have, chat, it could be about anything. It could be about current COD, past COD. It could be about, I don't know, Alex's feet pics. It could be whatever you want, bro.
Yo, $3.99. DM me on Twitter.
Dude, he's got that subscription on Twitter. If you sub to him, it just opens up this whole vault of feet pics.
It does. One thing though, if you're going to Toronto, or if you're going to any of the next, well, I don't even know if North Carolina is having their major anymore. I'm hearing somewhat of a leak, somewhat some insider news.
Oh my god, more leaks on the show tonight.
Somewhat. I heard that NC major is not happening, and that it is going to be in LA with no fans at Activision Studios.
Oh.
So take that as you will. Again, leaks. I heard this at Major 2. So
Ew.
take that as you will. But nonetheless, if you ever go to any of the majors, make sure Breaking Point, I believe, on Saturday and Sundays, they will be handing out cards. Oh, can you even see them? Oh, you can't see them. Dang it. How do I take my background off?
I don't know. I've never put the background on, and
Put them over your face.
yeah, you can hold it up over your
Nice.
face.
There we go. Bam. Okay. I don't know. Where do I go now? Anyways, they will be handing out player cards.
Oh,
Oh,
as they
he's
always
invisible
do.
now. We can't
They'll
see. We can barely see the cards.
Oh no.
Oh wait, yeah, hold it back like right in front of your face. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's sick, dude. I want some cards.
Hold on. Wait. Change background.
Hey,
There we go.
There it is.
Bam. So they have player cards for all the teams. They've updated. So these were from Major 1 split, which is why Shotzi's at a 79. But nonetheless, the ones that they've posted like throughout last week and stuff like that, those will be, I believe, will be at Major 3 in Toronto. So make sure to go check them out. All you have to do, well, I don't know what you're gonna have to do this time, but for Major 2, all you have to do was comment on their Breaking Point website, like how they have like the little Reddit comment section under all the games and stuff like that. So make sure y'all do that. If y'all going to any of the majors, they will probably have these as well for each of the previous major that happened or split that happened. So
that's dope.
make sure y'all go do that. But yeah, any questions now? Questions, comments,
Yeah, I
concerns?
see some questions. So first one, Fueled asked us about our opinions on the whole Asim thing that happened last night about him like apparently leaking stuff, or to Zuma and Ben. We touched on it a little bit earlier, but I don't think Fueled was here for that. I mean,
What was he leaking again?
he apparently was saying that like someone wasn't following play calls, I think, or didn't know the calls in SND.
Oh, Snoopy, yeah. That's what I
Yeah.
was talking about. I'm sorry. Snoopy, yeah. Sorry name drop, but it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it sucks that he
Yeah.
got dropped, It sucks that if that is the case, and I don't know. I mean, honestly, it's I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, I don't have much of an opinion on it because obviously, Doug said it was false. Zuma and Ben, they're gonna trust Asim if that's what is actually happening. So who really knows what's happening on that? If you're like leaking team things going on from behind the scenes to people, I feel like it's a little bit shady. Like probably keep the stuff in camp and work out your issues. But I guess if you're on the chopping block and you're getting dropped, you might as well start spewing that out there. So. What else? Who would win in a free for all between the three of us?
No cat, probably Preston. Not gonna lie.
I'll give it to Preston since he's the highest. Since he's the highest ranked.
He's the highest ranked.
But
Thanks, gentlemen.
I don't know.
Of
Free for
course.
all, you never know what's gonna happen.
I'll put up a fight though, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be close, bro. I'm giving it at least 6 kills for sure. Let me see. Let me scroll up a little bit.
Big hot take. Someone getting. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go. That's what I was about to read anyway.
Oh yeah, random. Big hot take. Someone getting dropped. Someone having a losing record. Player taking a step back. Bold
Hot
predictions for
takes.
next major.
I think one of the top 4 doesn't make top 4 in major 3. I think that's my hot take. I think we see a major, maybe not a double first round major 1 situation like with New York, but I think we see
top 6.
I think we see one of these bottom teams find their way in Sunday.
Someone getting dropped.
Everybody.
I think we already kind of talked about that. Joe deceives. He's on a short leash.
Anybody on any of these bad teams, bro. Everyone on Miami, everyone on Seattle.
Well, we can kind of talk. I don't know if it was Doug or Eggs or someone, but someone on the flank said that they believe in the offseason that the top 4 teams are just going to swap players.
Mhm.
Do we believe that is true? Oh, 0. Yeah, right.
Yeah, 0 on dope check.
How do we feel about that? Chat. How do you feel about that?
It's probably real.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
How else are those 4 teams going to get better if they're not just recycling players with one another? I mean, the only like maybe Dan, Attach are a couple names that could probably go into a top 4 team, make a team better. But
Scrappy to
realistically,
OpTic. Woo.
for who is the question? For who?
Yeah. I think right
That's the
now it's
question.
too hard to tell.
Yeah, top 4 probably swap players. The only thing that throws a kink in the whole situation is if someone retires. I don't know who that person would be because the top 4 are all pretty young players. I mean, maybe Kenny retires. I doubt it, but like he's the only person I can think of that maybe could consider out of the top 4 teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe Simp or Abizi decide they don't want to play anymore. Like, obviously these are very not going to happen, but that's the only way I see these top 4 teams not just like swapping between them.
Make CDL 5v5 and bring Scrappy. No, thank you. I will never watch 5v5 COD again. That shit was so garbage.
Dude, I actually thought that shit was lit. At least in Black Ops 4. At least in Black Ops 4.
It was better in BO4 for sure.
MW just sucked, but I thought Black Ops 4 hectic. I liked it. I mean, but realistically, I mean, like I said, there's a handful, like I'm sure, like maybe even like Win or Lens. Somebody wanted to take like a shot on the Flyers or something, like the rookies that have been playing well. Like,
yeah, I can see that.
But realistically, the top 4 are going to be the top 4, and they're just going to. I mean, I don't know. Like Scrap leaving is a possibility. I guess like Dashy maybe leaving is a possibility if OpTic falls
We
through.
need one of these guys to go and like join a non top 4 team and like try to start their own thing. You know what I mean? Like that could be the spiral. Or
Win
like
for
Simp and
Envoy?
Abizi breakup.
Win for Envoy.
I don't know.
I don't really know if Gwyn plays the Envoy role. Gwyn plays more like a Kleenex role, to be honest.
Yeah.
It'd be like having 2
That's the team's play.
Kleenexes, which is honestly not. I mean, anybody would love to have 2 Kleenexes, but
I see Envoy as a scapegoat for Ultra.
of course.
I can see it, yeah.
Oh, wait, I mean, without a doubt. He's the new guy on the roster. He just played that in Major 2.
Yeah. Just like, I feel like every team has a scapegoat.
Oh, yeah. Right? I mean,
feel like, especially for like the top 4, it's every player that just joined this offseason.
Yeah, Sib for New York. Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. OpTic could be an interesting conversation. But Draza for FaZe.
If Sib came into New York and the highest they get is top 3, and it's not even consistently top 3, they probably change.
Yeah.
They just came off a season winning 3 tournaments, 1 being champs, and the best you get is top 3.
Unfortunately, I don't think it is Dashy for OpTic. Dashy is locked in for OpTic for life, unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
I mean,
yeah,
it is.
Unfortunately, holy shit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I think it's Dashy or Shotzi.
You think?
Yeah, because, dude, at least from what I see, a lot of people think that Kenny and Pred have been better this year. Like, even hardcore OpTic fans. I can see them scapegoating, like, Kenny, for sure.
Say that again. I blacked out, was reading chat.
I said, like, I've been seeing, like, some hardcore, even hardcore OpTic fans saying, like, Kenny and Pred have been better this season than Shotzi and Dashy. So, like, I could see Shotzi or Dashy getting the short end of the stick if at the end of this season if it doesn't go to plan.
I don't see Shotzi going anywhere.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Hex has already said that Shotzi.
I don't see Shotzi going anywhere. This is gonna sound crazy, but the only place I see Shotzi going is if that's it. If Formal retires and OpTic needs one on the Halo team. Mm-hmm. I'm not even kidding. I'm like that's gonna sound absolutely fugazi to a lot of people, but I'm being dead ass. That's the only spot I see him going. If Formal is done playing and he just wants to stop playing, or maybe just go, he's been talking about going like maybe trying out Apex for like a third game.
Be
If he wants to
insane.
stop playing Halo, and OpTic needs a spot, professional Halo, that's the only spot I see Shotzi not being on OpTic Texas is if OpTic Halo has an opportunity. That's it.
Formo did say that he thinks after this year, Halo's dead. He said that on stream once, so you never know.
I just think the guy is OpTic. I mean, he is the face of OpTic. I mean, obviously Seth is Seth, but he is the face of
of like active players for the most
of
part.
active everything. He is the face of OpTic. Yeah, I know.
Active.
The guy
Active and
streams.
OpTic.
He does content. He is an absolute animal at multiple titles, and he's absolutely hilarious. So he's stupid, but he's absolutely hilarious. The guy.
Dashy to Ultra. Whoa. That's a bold move.
Dashy for insight.
Insight.
I don't think Ultra would want to do that if we're keeping it a buck.
First of all, if Dashy's going Ultra, it ain't for insight. It's for one player only. Respectfully, I mean.
Get that long neck over here.
Get that long neck over here. I'll pull him by the neck.
Oh my god. Hydra replacing Kenny.
Scrap and Dashi are really good friends, so I could see them teaming in the future.
I think it obviously, all of this talk that we're having, first of all, is all fun because for all we know, the 4 teams might just stick together. Who the hell knows? It is what it is. But let's just hypothetically say that FaZe just dominate the rest of the year because they look like the clear best right now. Let's just say even if they don't dominate, let's say they win, how many? 2 out of the last 3.
That's pretty dominant.
One of those being champs, right? They stick. There's no chance they break up. Unless you're New York, they stick. I think the other 3 probably, unless it's like the same team that's fighting back and forth with FaZe.
Yeah, like unless Ultra get one of the majors and they're like in another final or 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see the teams changing, but right now, the thing is, you're always gonna want to make a team that's going to beat the team that just beat you. OpTic Halo got second at champs, made a team change. Did they have to? No, but they felt like there was an upgrade available. With Space Station getting rid of Peg 1, now Dead Zone, they picked up Dead Zone. They felt like they got better. Unless you're winning, nobody really cares. I mean, respectfully, unless you're winning, no one really cares. So if you don't have the team that's going to win, you got to make a change. Now, I do genuinely believe that any of the top 4 teams can win. We've already seen 2 teams do it in 2 majors. So, do the other 2 teams do it in the next 3? We'll have to see. That would be insane. That'd be super cool and fun for the league, but that would be insane.
If Scrap goes to FaZe, I'm not watching COD anymore. I'm done watching COD.
He's going OpTic.
Hold on. Who is he going there for? You're not getting rid of Cell. No, that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
I mean, they're enemies. They both play a fast second AR role.
Someone did ask about the after major drama.
Dude, the after major drama is ridiculous.
That had me on my neck, bro.
Dude, it's just these significant others, and it even extends to friends and family. You do not have to be getting into this drama, bro. It's not. Everything you say is a representation of whatever your player is and their team. That's my take on the situation. I mean, I love it. It's super entertaining. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. But for like a general statement, like just stay out of it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I mean, we know some people are very, very passionate about their significant other.
As you should be.
And yeah, that's fine. But it's just funny. It's funny.
The beef was just
that just makes Toronto even more or I can't wait for Toronto even more now because of that. Because we know what happened at Toronto last year. All the FU draws the chance came out from all the Toronto Ultra fans. And after this spicy beef, and I mean they played this split too, so it's
They
gonna get
do.
interesting. It's gonna get interesting.
Dude,
Assault on phase.
chat's tired, man. Chat is so tired.
Dude, assault on
FaZe.
phase. It is like freaking 5 a.m. for Slayer, so he's definitely tired.
5:30 for him, dude. Sun's rising in 20 minutes. He's so tired.
He's dreaming of assault right now. You guys seen the memes of LeBron, the "You Are My Sunshine" memes on TikTok? That's him, but with assault. He sees them on his face on the sun as it's rising right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm taking Scrappy over Draza too, but why are we acting like Draza is fucking dog shit? Draza is insane.
Well, I mean, if we go to the end of the year and let's say FaZe don't win anything else, and I mean, listen, FaZe could win champs, and I'm still putting Scrap on that team if I have the opportunity.
Holy shit.
Dude, Scrap is the best player in the league. Like, he is the best player in the league.
Yeah, but talent stacking doesn't always work.
Working for FaZe right now.
Hydra replacing Kenny would be crazy. I don't think that would happen. That's 3 SMGs right there.
3 subs and an objective-based AR. That sounds like disaster.
There'd be crazy pressure on the map, but
Crazy pressure, and I don't think you'd ever get a kill against Hydra and Pred, but holy shit.
I mean, Shotty has talked about moving to a flex role as well before, but that would still be 3 sub dominant.
League will die if Scrap goes to Fade. League's gonna die anyways, so who cares?
Dude, you want a good hot take? I got a good hot take for you. Next season, Hydra, Scrap, and Simp come to LA Thieves, the team with Ghosty.
Oh, God.
That's my hot take. Dude, I think it's realistic, bro. Simp, he says, I can't team with this Abizi guy anymore. I got to pull myself ahead of him. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Scrappy.
I thought you were being dead ass, and I was
dude.
excited to hear what you had to say, and then you pull out that bullshit.
Shotzi to FaZe almost happened. It did almost happen, but because Scump didn't retire after Vanguard, it didn't happen. But we also could have had Hydra on OpTic as well. That would have fed.
It would have been with Cammy though, so no thanks.
Yeah. Well,
Dude, that's actually crazy. Oh, man.
It would have been Cammy Hydra. Wait, Cammy Hydra, Shotzi, Scump, right?
Yeah, because that was literally. I think Shotzi said it like they were literally in a group chat together, like it was set in stone. And then they just decided to say, fuck it, we're running back with Dashy and Illy.
Oh, was it Tatch? I thought it was Cammy.
I thought it was Cammy too. If it was attached, it would have been.
Oh, if it was attached, I mean, shit.
Yeah.
You want to run it back? Run it back.
No, but I don't think Hydra's going anywhere. I think that's NYSL's Starboy. So
Hydra, as long as they can keep paying him and building a good roster around him, I guess he stays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see Hydra fitting on like a phase, not fitting on phase with the players they have, because obviously that'd be like 3 SMGs with Simp and Abizi, but like in terms of being an amazing player, but isn't really like a content kind of like, you go to OpTic, you're in content, bro. Like there's no questions asked. So I could see him kind of fitting that phase mold, just being really good. I mean, phase is all about championships. They just won, I believe that Major 2 is their 50th championship as an organization, right? Which is insane. But yeah, Hydra's probably locked into New York as long as they have the money to pay that salary.
Well, I mean, he's just getting better.
I think Hydra's probably the 3rd best player in the league right now. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think it's Scrap, Simp, Hydra.
That's probably a hot take.
You think so? Who'd you have over him? Celium?
Yeah.
Celium, yeah. I sell 3 or 4, I guess, is fine.
Hydra's insane. I'd probably put him 5th.
Dude, Hydra had... If you go look at his stats from this past major, it was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, Slayer needs to go to bed, dude. Slayer needs to go fuck to sleep, dude.
dude,
Prezi
Brezzy is
over-
definitely on one end of the top 3. I don't know if it's the top end or the bottom end. Poor guy.
Brezzy over Hydra. Okay.
I'd make that
Simp,
trade.
Scrap, Hydra, Stell, Abizi. I like that. I'm cool with that.
Are we really putting the BZ up there? I wouldn't. I don't think I'd do that. I don't think I'd have a BZ in the top 5 this season.
I'm putting Pred over
Who would-
Beezy.
A BZ would be crazy though.
He do. I mean, he absolutely slammed us.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Who would you say the top 5 right now are? I'd probably, dude, low key, I might go Scrap 1, Simp 2, Hydra 3, Cell 4, Attach 5. I know Attach's team isn't that good, but bro, Attach has been lights out the entire season.
I think I'd go Scrap, Simp, Cell, Pred, Hydra. It's probably what
Pred over Hydra?
Yeah.
Are we smoking that Pine Park right now?
No, I'll take Pred's season over Hydra season. He had a bad grand finals, but I'll take Pred's season over Hydra
I mean,
season.
I guess if you look at placements, you're definitely not wrong.
That's optic bias. Okay, fuck off.
Fred over Hydra is the first shot you've had all night. Glasses.
Glasses, man, dude.
What the fuck? That's
Glasses,
insane.
man.
Glasses man season.
Dude,
Glasses.
glazing season over here.
All right, well, you want me to say Hydra Pred? Like, does that really make it that much better?
Yes. No, Alex, what do you got?
Top 5 right now.
Yeah.
I have Sip 1. Nah, I think I gotta go with Scrap 2 for Shirley. I feel like he's been 3. Gotta go Hydra in my opinion, honestly. He's nasty. You can't knock that. Pred Attach. I'll do that.
No Cell. No Cell?
Damn. Whew.
Damn, sorry, MC.
Oh, dude. Flashy and M&K are gonna go nuts.
Oh, man. Hey, I mean, listen, everyone is allowed to have their opinion. That's what makes this shit fun.
That was me. I called him glasses. You guys are sick.
What up, glasses?
I'm about to start wearing contacts.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. All right, well, I think this is probably a good place to wrap it. I mean, we got like 30 people in here. We appreciate everyone who's been hanging out with us all night. This is a blast. I love doing the live shows, but Preston's over there tired. I could see it. I could see it in his glasses.
Oh my god.
Glasses, man.
Fuck.
He can't see us now.
I'm blind as shit without my contacts in.
We're sleeping on Fire 40. I agree. Actually, in all actuality, Jimbo's number 1. Let's give it a butt.
Somebody said we're sleeping on Crim 6. You got, dude.
I'm
is it
sleeping
Slayer
with
again? Is it Slayer again that said that shit? Dude, Slayer, go to bed, man. Go to bed.
Oh, man. Hey, well, chat, I appreciate you guys. We appreciate you guys being here with us tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify in post, we also appreciate you guys just as much. Make sure you let us know things, if there's ways we can make the show better, things we can talk about that would interest you guys. We are very open to the feedback and stuff like that. I do think it'd be cool if we start getting some guests on. We definitely would have to coordinate that and see who we can bring on, but I think that should be maybe our next step because we are 13 episodes in. Maybe big episode 15 we could swing someone to come on as a guest. Who that might be, you guys can give us ideas. Chat, if you have any ideas of who we should try to get on.
If you drop 50 gifted in Caesar Seasons Twitch, then you can be a guest.
I have one more proposition for the CDL before we cut off this episode.
Oh, let's hear it.
Let's allow the Miami Heretics to play all 5 of their players against 4 players of every other team.
Oh my god.
just to give them more of a chance at a
Dude,
series.
that's messed up.
Let them play 5v4.
Dude, Vikul's gonna really think we're the podcast guys hating on him now.
I just wanna
Someone a little bit famous like Nade shot. Yeah.
That guy's not that famous, bro.
Let me just call up Nade. Like, hey, bud, do you want to come on the podcast?
Oh
I mean,
man.
we can try to get some cool people on here. Vikul
Yeah.
ain't gonna like this one. I'm clearly joking, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm obviously messing around.
Vikul can take the Vamos and put it somewhere where the sun don't shine. I
Oh
don't give a fuck.
Lord, Vikul, this isn't me, brother. This isn't me.
Shotzi is trash.
Hey, Tucson with a $2
$1.99.
super chat to say Shotzi is trash. I
love
respect the
that.
hate. I respect the hate a ton. That's crazy, Tucson. Thank you.
I also like Vikul. Vikul's a good guy. I'm just messing around. It's all
No,
for
he
fun.
is. He definitely is.
I'll be at Toronto. See me, Vikul.
That's crazy.
Come down. Front row.
Oh Lord, dude, he will. But yeah, chat. We'll see what guests we can get on. We probably won't be able to get like an active player on soon because they're playing and they're scrimming and all that stuff. But hey, dude, I mean, listen, if Octane or Parasite or Colt Havoc or Zuma ever wanted to come on the show, they could come. They could take my spot, bro. They can have it. You know what I mean? But yeah,
Listen,
we'll see.
I'll go into one of the pro players' chats and I'll say, listen, dude, I'll give, all three of the people on around the CDL will give 5 gifted subs in your chat.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you come on for 10 minutes for an interview
Yeah.
of around the CDL. What are they going to say? No? They're going to take the 15 gifted. It's 10 minutes.
I'll slide into the GA group chat and say, if you don't
Hell yeah.
come into, I'll suck some toes.
Hey, wait a second, dude. You think you're getting tired? What's going on?
Dude,
I mean, I respect it, dude. I respect the grind.
God, dude,
Hey, someone's got to be about it. You know what I'm saying?
We're sucking toes. Can I join?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, I mean, there's 10 toes. You know what I'm saying? There's plenty of room. There's plenty of room. Chat. Anyone else trying to join? We got 7 extra slots. If anyone's interested. No, all right. We're getting crazy, right? We're getting wild.
oh my God.
Yo, any closing remarks that you guys where we sign it off?
Nah, that's it, man. Appreciate you guys hanging out in chat and watching. Appreciate you guys on YouTube watching the posts afterwards. But I mean, you guys, as always, you guys make this fun. So we're talking COD, and it's really fun. So shout out you guys. You guys are the goats, and we're gonna keep pumping out content, man. Don't worry about it.
Hell yeah.
Of course. Again, appreciate everyone for watching, commenting, liking. Even if you hate us, you think our takes are dog shit.
They
I
probably are.
appreciate it. I appreciate all the love, all the hate. It just brings us more views. Just overall, I appreciate everyone. I appreciate everyone that's been rocking with us. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'll see y'all next time. We don't have any matches this weekend, unfortunately. Matches will resume next weekend. We just hope for some banger matches with the new teams, new squads, hopefully some new maps. But yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yes,
chat. The boys said it well. If you guys, seriously, if you ever have ideas, topics, guest requests, feedback, ways we can make the show better, seriously, reach out to us on Twitter. I mean, our handles are on screen right now. They're in the link to the description. The links are in the description when the episode is actually out. I don't think they're there right now in the live show, but seriously, give us any feedback you have. We're all very welcome to it. We definitely want to make the show as good as it can be. And I'm sure there's ways it can be better. So with all that being said, chat, we appreciate it. We'll be back next week with our pick'ems for week 1, hopefully with more rosters to talk about. And I hope you all have a good rest of your night / morning if you're in the UK and you gotta get to school or work soon. But hey, chat, thank you again, and we'll see you in the next one.
By the way, chat, it is Jake's birthday tomorrow. Everybody DM him on Twitter saying happy birthday. So
That's
all
pics.
That's
all I
crazy.
say.
I expect
DM
speed
him on
picks.
Twitter saying happy birthday. That's all.